In this video, I want to talk about something which is like a fast lane to success, a simple principle that can actually change the way you go towards success much faster than before. But before I talk about it, I also want to put some lights on this idea that we all want success. And what happens in our head is that whenever something is presented to us as a solution that is something which has no relationship with our past, like as in there's no experiential learning about it, then our brain tends to reject it because either it has no connection and we can't understand it, or we have been betrayed in past, or we think the solution must be really very hard. And that's why a whole lot of people who have read the secret book just have read it so that they can talk to their friends about it, but they don't really buy into it because they don't believe that it could be that simple. So that's what I wanted to understand, that when you're going to listen to this, you have to think about that the way that even if it is very simple, it is extremely powerful. So I'm going to tell you the story of how I learned it, and then what are the changes that happened as a result of this, and then the main principle, so you can apply it so that it's in bite-sized pieces. You can actually go ahead and do this. So quite a few years back, way back in 2002, I was really sick and tired of talking about that I work for this small company called ETI Travel and Technologies, which is what I did. And I used to talk to my wife about this, that look, if I look at all my batchmates, they're all at a great places. They're really doing great, because I was from REC Allahabad and from IMT Ghaziabad, which are all two reputed institutes in India. So I had this sense of entitlement, or rather feeling that compared to my fellow beings, my batchmates, I'm not doing well. And so because I was working for a very small startup company with like 13 people, I felt really bad about it. So I used to talk to her and say, you know what, I'm just sick and tired of telling people that I work for this small company and everybody else is working for this great company and everything. So I was like, what do I do? So I was looking out for something. Book reading was not into my psyche back then. And I stumbled onto this book, this thick book by Adam Scott, the guy who wrote the whole Dilbert series. And in that book, after all the fun and everything, there's one chapter which was called Affirmation. And this was my first introduction to affirmations. And I'm like, what is this interesting thing? And it said that you really want something, go ahead and say it 15 times a day. Now, for me, it was very hard because I've never believed in anything which is basically things just happen because I want it or will it and all of it, and I need to work for every single thing. So it was very hard to do that. But I wanted it so badly that I started every morning. I would get up and I would just close my eyes and say, I, Kapil Kulshrestha, will end up working for a very large company. I, Kapil Kulshrestha, will end up working for a very large company. I, Kapil Kulshrestha, will end up working for a very large company. So the idea was that I make a full statement, not a half statement, and I say the same thing at least 15 times with my eyes closed and the power inside me. Well, 2 months later, I started working for Microsoft. Now, it was not a magical thing that happened. There's a whole process I went through. When I saw the ad for, in whatever we were using back there in India, monster.com or whatever, I applied for it because in my mind, I belonged there. In my mind, I was constantly telling myself, so it was on top of my head. There are a million priorities that you're dealing with, and you forget the main point that you are, because you get caught up. So I applied for it, I got a call. Even when I applied for it, I was diligent about it. I got a call, I cleared the interview. There are multiple levels of difficulties throughout the interview process. But because it was on top of my mind, and it was not just barely, I want it, I was just saying it every single day with certain power inside me. So I got that job. You know what? Changed a whole lot of things for me. So this entire secret that I've discovered is really something that I've used n number of times after that when I really want it. Step number one is, make sure you really want it. You can't pretend it. You can't fake it till you make it. You've got to really want it. Really want it. That's the step one, and I'm putting it in. Like, it has to be hunger. It has to be level 10 need. It is something I want it. I need this. This is gonna happen. Number one. Number two, it has to be realistic. It can't be like, I want to be a CEO of Microsoft. I, Kapil Kulshrestha, will be a CEO of Microsoft one day. It is impractical at this stage. It has to be something achievable. It can't be like random. So you must want it, and it must be achievable. And then you have to get into this practice of saying it multiple times with your power zone. It's not like, oh, I want it. No, you have to say it very clearly, articulate it with your name. I, Kapil Kulshrestha, will end up working for a very large company. Say it, mean it, live it, breathe it. And what will happen if you just keep repeating it, it will start getting your psyche, and you will get into the step number 4, which is going to be that you will start visualizing you being there. Now, you could be as crazy as you can get. I know of people, my clients, who have actually gone to that office in like the foyer, like I want to work for Google. So they went to the office, Google office, in the waiting area, and sat there for an hour and visualized them walking inside the place. Don't ask me why, how and all, but it's crazy. But somebody has done it in my tribe. So you can be really crazy, very creative about it. The more you put in here, the more will come out. The more you put in, the more will come out. You gotta really, really have absolute clear visualization that you see yourself walking in that office. You see yourself achieving that particular thing. And this is something which I've done multiple times. And one last example I'll give you is that when I wanted to lose my weight in 2017, I was always a fat guy. My history, there was nothing that would have meant that I could have lost my weight. But what did I do? I made it my mission. I made it my vision. I visualized myself being in that place where I actually was there healthy. And I told myself, I'm going to lose 16 kg in 16 weeks. And I said it every morning. I weighed myself every day. I had 0 cheat days. The guy who was trying to lose weight for last 17 years lost 16 kg in 16 weeks. Exactly what he said to everybody else. Because that's what happens when you are powerfully, you're hungry, you're saying it is realistic, you're saying it and meaning it, and you're visualizing it. That's what happened. That's the power of actually self-belief. That's the power of active visualization. Implement it, and it's going to change a lot for you. I promise you. And put the comment below, what do you think about it? And as usual, if you are seeing it on a channel where you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to it, and I'll keep sharing these golden nuggets. Grateful.